Hello, it is Deanna, your fave stylist, and I am here to bring you some more great information about the beauty industry, which I love. Okay. Um, for those of you that do not know me, I am a salon owner. I'm an educator. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a soon to be mom and a newlywed wife. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about booth renting. This video may relate a little bit more to salon owners because it's going to give you a better understanding of why you should do automatic booth rent. Okay. So first off, what is automatic booth rent? Automatic booth rent is when you have a set amount of booth rent that you charge every week or daily or monthly, whichever structure you decide to set your business up in. And you use technology by means of QuickBooks or your software, in my case being Vagaro, or you use something like you can use Square, you can use QuickBooks, you could use Vagaro. There's a lot of different softwares out there that you can use to automatically charge the bank accounts of your hairstylist. Okay, so the reason that you want to do this is because in my case, and if this is your case, you are a full-time working hairstylist as well. In the beginning stages, when I first opened up my business, I found that on Saturdays when it was time for me to collect booth rents and or write credit card checks out to people who ran credit cards through the salon and then deduct their booth rent from that, that is a whole administrative task, which can take anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour to do, which it became really, really hard to do while I was still developing myself as a hairstylist. So what would happen is I would have a full work week, and then at the end of the week, I would get done working, and it would be the end of the day Saturday, and some of my hairstylists were getting off early on Saturday, so I would have to stop and take a break in between my clients to write them a check or say, hey, can I leave your check at your station? And you can come in and pick it up Sunday. And that's inconvenient. If you tell somebody that they're getting paid on Saturday, they should get paid on Saturday. If you're collecting booth rent and you say booth rent is due Saturday, you should definitely make sure you collect booth rent every Saturday, and you should have a set time in place, because if not, people begin to kind of get just as flip-floppy with when to pay their booth rent as you are flip-floppy as to when you're asking for it to be paid. I've learned this by experience. If you're going to be a leader, everything has to be done the same way for everybody. And when you set something, you've got to say, hey, what's going on? I said 4:00. It's 4:00. What's going on? So, I went through the process of saying, hey, everybody, booth rent is due every Saturday at 4 p.m. and I'm going to be looking for it. But it never could be consistent because at 4:00, I was always working on my clients, and I didn't want to take away from my professionalism and have to stop actually working and retwisting or curling a client to stop and go and, handle administrative duties. So I was finding challenges in balancing the things that I had to do as a business manager and owner, and as being one of the lead hairstylists in my hair salon. So that was one problem. The way that I resolved that, automatic booth rent. The next thing was, because everybody that works in a hair salon, depending on how the structure is set up, sometimes people are leaving early. Sometimes people are on vacation. I would want to leave early sometimes. I work all the time. Especially now that I'm with child, some days I'm not there all the time. Especially on a Saturday. If I don't have a client, I'm going home to put these feet up and rest this belly. And so I would leave early, but then it would mean I would leave the salon early, and then I would have to come back to collect booth rent, or I would have to go back to write checks to people and things like that. And it just was like, if your job is just to be chilling at home all day and then get up at the end of the day and go collect your money and pay people, then that's one thing. But because there's so many other things going on in life, auto booth rent was really, really a good solution for me. The next thing is your hairstylist may take off for the week. Your hairstylist may want to go on vacation. You may go on vacation. Your hairstylist may have some type of event or something going on with a family member where they want to be present and be able to support that family member. Maybe that hairstylist needs to run by the bank to put their money inside of the bank so that their booth rent can be paid for, or whatever the case may be. These are all sticky situations that have caused issues in the past. And sometimes as a owner, you find yourself behaving as a bill collector. And that can be stressful. Now, I know some people out there they love being on a power trip and being the person in charge and all of that. And I do take ownership of that when and if I need to. But if I have people that are working with me that are just as much qualified as a leader in their lives, you usually don't have to worry about chasing them and saying, hey, did you pay your booth rent? Hey, you got this going on. It's due the same time every week, you know? And so I found myself in positions to where, because of all of these previous situations that I've just given you examples of, it led me to be super stressed out, because not only as a business owner do you have to worry about making the orders for the salon, whatever products and things that you provide for yourself and your clients. If you do choose to provide things for your hairstylist, you have to keep those things restocked, whatever y'all situation is. If you are ordering retail for you to sell, you're the person that takes care of that. If you have plants outside of your salon, which we do, you are the gardener to take care of the plants. You are the person that has to make sure that somebody cuts down the weeds on the perimeter of the parking lot. You're the person that goes outside and picks up cigarette butts off of the ground and trash and litter that people leave in the parking lot. You are the person that cleans the bathroom. You're the person that cleans the break room. You're the person that orders towels if you guys need towels. You are the person that does the marketing and the advertising. And whether you stop and you handle somebody else, you pay someone else to handle those things, you still are the person that has to make sure that those things happen. One of my fellow colleagues shared with me this morning, don't expect it if you don't inspect it. So that means even though some of these things that you delegate out or pay other people to do, you still have to inspect it and make sure that it's ready to go. You still have to inspect it and make sure that it is what you expected for your business, and so that you can make sure that you're paying for a service that is well worth it, and also so that you can make sure that you are delegating to the right people, you know, because people will show you in everything that they do if they are someone that you can rely on, or if they're someone you should delegate this task to or that task to, because everybody has their strengths and weaknesses, and you have to play off of that whenever you're dealing with your people. So I found myself in all of these situations, and on top of all of those situations, it just sprinkled a little bit more stress at the end of the week, Saturday, when a hairstylist would be out of town and I would have to call her and say, hey, what's up? It's 4:00. You gonna pay your booth rent? Or I would be working with a client and somebody would be sitting there like, hey, can you go ahead and deduct my booth rent out of my check so that I could go? And can I get my check, by the way? And then it just was a nuisance to stop working on my clients to do all of those things. And then let's say I did plan for all of that stuff and I said, okay, I'm going to stop taking clients. My last client is going to be at 2:00. So that means I'll be finished no later than 3:30, 4:00, 5 at the latest, depending on what the service is. You know, and if I had a client that understood, and she kind of got business a little bit and really wasn't pressed for time that day, sometimes they'd be like, oh, girl, go ahead and do what you got to do. But some people are really pressed for the time, which they should be, because at my salon, I purposely promote that I value your time. You know, it's not just about me giving you a good service. It's about me respecting you as a person and not wasting your time whenever you come to see me. And so I had to switch my salon over to automatic booth rent. And let me tell you, it has taken off 10 loads of pressure off of my shoulders. every weekend so that I don't have to stress about also running behind hairstylists to collect their booth rent and all of that stuff. It has liberated me a little bit to even start looking into more technology to where now I'm researching the salon becoming a smart salon so we can control the thermostat. I'll be able to go back and double check and see if my doors are locked without having to go back and look at the cameras and see who was the last person to leave. Just little small things like that. Now that I'm progressing in my daily booth rental for the salon, I don't have to worry about, hey, let me make sure that a hairstylist has a key to get in. When we've got a smart lock on the door, I can just put an access code, let a daily booth renter go do their thing, and I can look and see if they're within their time slot and things of that nature. So if and when possible, guys, I think it's really smart to take advantage of technology. um Being an entrepreneur, if you are like so many other hairstylists that I know that are running their business solo and they are also a full-time hairstylist, you are going to have to find little ways to delegate, whether it be to delegate to artificial intelligence or to other people to ensure that things are going to be running smoothly. Like I said, once I switched my booth renters over to automatic booth rent, now we use Square currently, but I'm looking for a different system that's going to charge less, because with some of these systems, when you punch in credit cards manually, you get charged a higher credit card fee because that company feels as though they run the risk of something happening more when you're punching in somebody's credit card as opposed to being with them physically and swiping it in. You get a lesser fee for that. So they're trying to promote you being someone safe to work with whenever it comes to credit cards. So anyway, we're looking for a different system. We'll probably end up switching over to QuickBooks, but that is a completely different video. In this video, I just really wanted to focus on letting other salon owners know that it's okay. And keep in mind, whenever you first try to switch over to doing your automatic booth rent, if you're a person that has been going around and just collecting booth rent manually, you know the stress behind that. You really are. You become a booth rent. You become a bill collector. Because people just have lies, and some people are flakier than others, and however people handle their money in their personal situations is how they handle their money in business situations, which means that you get to learn who is responsible with their bills at home and who's gonna be responsible with their business bills, and you also have to keep in mind that many booth renters are not trained to run a business. They don't know all the ins and outs of how to properly handle money whenever it comes to being a booth renter. So you're going to run into a lot of situations to where you guys are going to go through some bumps and bruises as you go through the beginning stages of your auto booth rent. But for those reasons, you have things set in place like late fees. You make sure that you have over communication with your stylist. And you make sure that you're clear and you follow through on everything that you say that you're going to do when you say you're going to do it as the leader. Okay. So that's my video on why I feel like independent small business owners that happen to be salon owners that offer booth rent should do their booth rent automatically. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to message me and I will share with you what I know. All right. This is Deanna, your fave stylist. You guys have a great day. Until the next video.